Hey man, so look, nothing quite puts winning in perspective like losing, right? So how difficult is it to handle this loss knowing all the winning that you guys have done, and how much does it make you appreciate all the winning that you guys have done the last couple of years when you fall short of a goal this year?
It just shows how hard it is to do it each and every year. Just so proud of the group of guys, coaches, everybody. Like, going back to back was just something you never really think about or dream about. Never mind just winning one, but just it's weird having that feeling out there, knowing it's your last game. And you look back, it was 3 years, I think May 2022, since we lost the playoff series. So it's hard to actually comprehend like what it feels like. And you kind of just know like all good things are going to come to an end at some point, and it just sucks when it actually happens. And I thought everyone played really great. It was just a couple mental mistakes, but it really does put in perspective how hard it is to go out there and win. And we were able to do it for 2.5 seasons, and couldn't be more proud of that group.
You guys played, we kind of did some of the math, you did about 50 playoff games in the last 26 months, right? Because it starts kind of in that April time frame of 23. How much did you have in the tank? Because that's a lot to ask of hockey players to play that much intense playoff hockey. Did you feel like there was just a little less in the tank for some of the guys that did it back to back?
For sure. You go into the summer and it's just like 10 weeks and you're back at it, so you're not really getting the recovery you need, and you're just jumping right back into it. And that's when like little injuries start to pile up and little nagging things. But everyone did such a great job just taking care of their bodies and managing it. And I think you could kind of see towards the end here, like we came out pretty hot, and then obviously Charlotte, they're just such a high power, fast, skilled team. So any mistakes that we made, they transition right down and go get a scoring chance. So we kind of knew that going into the series, how like difficult it would be. But then we started making those mental mistakes, and that just goes with being tired and not really having your head screwed on straight. And you can't give that team any more firepower than they already have. And that's just what really happened. We kind of beat ourselves in a lot of aspects of the game, and they played a hell of a series and deserved it. But yeah, just going back to how much hockey we've played, it's absolutely grueling, but at the same time, you wouldn't want it any other way. You want to play in the playoffs, you want to win championships, that's what it's going to take. So everybody was happy to go out there and battle as best we could, and obviously we came up short and we're upset about it. But you got to look at all the great things we've done here and all the records we've broken, and it's hard to kind of see that now with losing and getting swept like that. But I'm sure like in the next couple of days when we're all together having a couple of beers and kind of reflecting on not just this year but the past couple of years, those are the type of things we're going to talk about. Not talk about how we lost here, but just all the good times we've had.
What has Todd Nelson brought to this team in 3 seasons? The way he handles the room seems pretty unique, but in your words, how much of a difference maker is he as a coach?
As soon as he stepped in, he just made us become a family from day one. And when he does that pig roast and brings everyone, wives, kids, families, everybody, he wants to really get everyone ingrained with each other, because this is your family. Like, I'm here by myself and these are my brothers, and the coaching staff's always there for support, and the wives, girlfriends, they do everything outside the ring for us. So when you really care about the guy next to you and the people that are in the room or surrounding the room, I think you play better. And that's his philosophy. Like, everybody cares about each other and wants to win and go out and do it for each other. And he just brought that aspect from day one, and he can really command a room, and he's more of a player's coach. He brings in the leadership group, bounces ideas off of us, and he really makes it a family environment, even like game stuff or off-ice stuff. So I think that was one of the biggest things. Like, a lot of head coaches have had usually kind of sit in their room, cut tape, and they're intimidating. You don't really go talk to them, or they don't walk around the locker room as much. But Nelly, on the other hand, he's always in there just kind of getting a feel for the guys, just not even talking about hockey most of the time, just talking about like current events or like what happened in the NHL or anything of that matter. And then once we step on the ice, it's business. So he does a good job of kind of separating the two and just make it enjoyable to come to the rink every day.
Talk about the winning earlier, and you guys have one back-to-back, and it's a long season. You come in knowing it's going to be a marathon. How do you kind of balance that, knowing it's a grind, but having enough in the tank to try to kick it into another gear? Because you guys have done it back-to-back already. So what were some of the things to help? Because it's a long season, but to kick it into another gear.
Yeah, we just talked about it so much. Like after we won the first championship, we obviously had a big target on our back, and we ended up having that historic season and winning again. So you come back for the third time, you have an even bigger target on your back, and Wilkes-Barre really loaded up. They were a great team this year, same as Lehigh. So those weren't any gimme games. Like 24 games against those two teams really takes a toll, and getting everyone's best every night because you're the back-to-back defending champs also takes a toll. So it was just very difficult each and every night. Like every single game, if you weren't on mentally or physically, like we were vulnerable, and it was hard to just keep that mental and physical edge off everybody else. But at the end of the day, we finished first in the Atlantic and second in the East or whatever, so couldn't be more proud of how everyone came back each and every year and just battled for the guy next to him.
One of the players who stepped up recently in the playoffs, Bogdan Chernev, he scored 5 goals in this postseason. What can you say about his maturity and how he's developed recently, especially because he's one of the better scorers in the playoff run?
Yeah, he's just big, physical, and he keeps his game simple. And then, he's got a couple toe drags in his tool bag that he'll pull out every once in a while. He'll sneak up on you, but he brings it. Like he's just such a powerful skater. Like you don't really realize how fast he's going because it's just his long strides and power. But he's kind of playing with a little more of an edge as he's gotten deeper into his career, and you could see him just like crashing the net after the whistle, just getting a little bump on a guy, creating a little scrum here and there, and putting guys in headlocks. Like just little things like that brings more edge to his game, and then he's going burying guys and obviously beating guys up the ice and scoring big goals for us. And especially on the 6-on-5, he had 2 open net goals where he just out-battled some guys, out-willed some guys to seal the deal for us. So if he continues to progress, I can see him making it to the NHL, just the way he plays in that bottom 6 role, and he can kill penalties. He can really do it all. So, and besides the hockey part, he's one of the funniest, goofiest guys I've ever met. Like he'll put a smile on your face every single day. You don't really see too many guys like that, and he's one of a kind. And I really love being around that guy.
I know he said last night that he thought this was the best hockey that you guys have run into. Do you agree? Do you think that's a team that is capable of going on to win the Cup?
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying before, like they just generate so much offense with their speed, and they always have 5 guys in a unit, like on the forecheck, in the D zone. Like they just play so together. So it was hard. Like when we were, not managing the puck well at the blue lines, we get stuck in our zone. It'd be like 30, 45 seconds of just them all in the O zone, just cycling, getting pucks to the net, beating the puck battles, all that stuff. So, they're going to be a tough team to beat. Obviously, Laval and Rochester, you can't look past them. Like playing those guys was always difficult. Same type of game, I think, where Rochester is kind of similar, where they're really run and gun and a lot of offense. And I don't remember Laval too much. I remember we lost to them, but they're a very tough team to play against. So I'll be looking forward to seeing that. But Charlotte, they really dominated just with their speed and skill, and it'll be interesting to see what they can do.
Interesting, you mentioned the different styles. I was curious about, because Charlotte plays similar to you, and every team, I think, when you ask them, they wanted to beat Hershey. They wanted to be like Hershey and beat them. And they played the same style, but they played faster. I wonder what the next iteration of not just Hershey, but this league, where it's going, because it's faster, it's more skilled, but you see that physicality. What do you think is next?
I think you're going to see more teams like Charlotte for sure. They'll wear you down with their speed. Like I was saying earlier in the interview, we came out pretty strong. Usually they're coming out dominating the first period, which they did in game 1. and then we kind of had to weather the storm. But I think Game 2 and Game 3, we knew like that was their key because they always come out so hot that we had to dominate the first period and focus on that, and we did a great job. And then, like I said, the turnovers and just getting stuck in our zone and them coming wave after wave and just getting second, third chance opportunities, like Shep didn't really stand a chance. So I can see the league kind of seeing that and just saying like, wow, like they're generating almost 40 shots a game and all this offense. It's fun hockey to play. Obviously, there's a lot of risk that involved of playing that type of style, like getting up the ice, and we had our odd man rushes, but you look on the other end, I think they had tons of breakaways, a couple odd man rushes. Like, I think that's a hell of a style to play, and when they can continue to do that each and every shift, like it's going to tire teams out. We did it with our physicality. We tried to be physical, slowing them down, and it worked at some aspects of the game. But at the end of the day, like they won all three, and they generated more offensive chances and scored more goals. It's a simple game, so lots of credit to them, and best of luck to them.
Now that you have time to reflect, going through it for 2 years and winning and coming to this point, how do you move forward now, knowing that this isn't ending with a championship? How do you move forward the next year, the year after, and try to replicate that success again?
That's a deep one. I don't know. Lots of recovery. It's been a long 3 years, so I think that's the main thing, is just getting your body right, getting your mind right, stepping away from the game, and just, like you said, kind of reflecting on all the good stuff and what worked, and take that into summer training, and come back with that chip on your shoulder. Like, it's not our cup anymore, so we got to go win it back. And I think a lot of guys are going to take that approach, just kind of get away from it, because it's been really mentally, physically, even emotionally draining on all of us. And obviously ending the way it did hurts, so just stepping away from the game and just getting that mental reset, physical reset, everything, and reflect on everything that went well, and like I said, just kind of put into summer training and get ready for next season, because everybody wants to win, but what are you willing to do to get there is the question. So I know a lot of guys in that locker room feel the same way, so they'll have a chip on their shoulder and we'll be back better than ever.